Yo, so I'm like hella sick right now, but this is my productivity workflow. The main goals here are to develop a system that keeps me on track with my goals and keeps me up to date on what I have to do moving forward with like classes or my own independent study. This information should be syncable across multiple devices on different platforms. It has to just work. And I've tried many systems in the past, right? I've tried Homonichi, Notion, OneNote, a lot of like iPad apps, but yeah, this is the system that works for me. So let's get right into it. So as far as the devices that should be connected together in this little ecosystem that I have, it's mainly a MacBook that's running Mac OS, a few Linux computers, so you can see that one right there, and then I have another Linux laptop that I bring with me when I go out and about, as well as a few Android devices. So I have my Android phone right here, and then a few Android tablets. They all have e-ink screens, but they all are running just stock Android. All these devices hopefully should sync flawlessly in my little system here. Right, so my preferred method to take notes while I'm in lecture or just in class or whatever is to mark up the lecture slides. I just find my brain the most engaged while I'm listening to the professor or whatever writing it out this way. There have been times where I've just not taken notes during class so that I could focus on what the professor is saying. And there have been other times in my life where verbatim, word for word, write down what they're saying and in turn miss out on all the concepts because I was just too focused on getting down the information, right? I find that this is a nice medium where I'm still engaging in trying to understand the concepts that are being presented while also enhancing my understanding of what they have provided me in a more personal manner. So yeah, sometimes like the professor will throw something at you like this where it's just a lot of crap on the screen, and there's no way that you're gonna ever be able to write this out like on Microsoft Word. So yeah, that's how I prefer to take notes during class. So all of this is to say that I should be able to have handwritten notes as a part of my productivity workflow, and I should be able to access those handwritten notes from my computer as well. Right, so just to give you an idea of how this all kind of ties together. So say that I have a lecture for a particular class tomorrow. We'll go ahead and download their slides in prior, and then once those are downloaded, we'll go ahead and go to the folder for that particular class, and then we'll go ahead and just drop it in. We can go and replace it, but yeah, so now that that's updated in a particular folder or whatever. Okay, so now that it's been dropped into that folder, it'll just go ahead and automatically update the changes to my tablet here. So if I just go into that folder, and then it's in this class, lecture 00 logistics, and right, so hi, this is right now. Right, so you know what I'm saying, you just kind of update and mark up the lecture slides as you may. And yeah, so now that we're done updating our lecture slides, we'll go ahead and save the file. And how you do that on this particular tablet is just by closing the app. All right, and then now we just give it a second. Alright, so it's been about 30 seconds or so, and as you can see, it just kind of automatically syncs up to my folder here, and has what it's like to write on, and that's exactly what I just did. So that was pretty cool, right? So now I can revise these slides while also having my handwritten notes on the slides, which is the best way to do it. Right, so that was just kind of one aspect of this whole system that I kind of have developed here. It's all built around two main pieces of software, this thing called emacs org mode and syncthing. So as far as like data processing and like storage and organization, I'm using this thing called emacs org mode. Emacs is this very popular piece of software. It's a text editor mainly used by Linux users. However, it's completely free and it's very powerful, And org mode is an extension for Emacs that expands its ability to organize your files and your information, right? And when you use it in conjunction with syncing, that allows you to synchronize files across devices. It's very effective in organizing your ideas in a succinct and very approachable way. So we'll go ahead and talk about those two pieces of software now. Right, so to give you an idea of how this is all kind of laid out, I have this main folder called Notes, and this is kind of my central folder that contains pretty much all the information that I use on a regular basis, right? So say that we have a new semester, spring of 2025 or something. I have my new semester, so for each class, I'll go ahead and create an individual folder for that class. For this example, I'll just go ahead and use some old classes from a different semester. But yeah, so each class will get its own folder, and within those folders, it'll have like reference materials pertaining to that class. So, you know, this is examples like lecture slides, homework files, and whatnot, textbook files. Alright, so within this folder, I'll also create this thing called an org file, and these files are just plain text files, right? So let's call it school.org, and this is in emacs, so go ahead and open up an emacs document, right? And then for each class, it'll get a top level heading, so there'll just be one asterisk, and it'll be like EC 5780 or something, you know. Oops. And yeah, so each one will just get its own heading, like CS4150, whatever. And when this all filled out, it'll kind of look something like this. It's kind of early in the semester at the moment, so this isn't very filled out, but you can kind of see, like, this is a top level. You get the properties, so you get the professor, the textbook, location, and this is set to recur. So in Emacs org mode, you can kind of see this thing called the agenda view, which is kind of my upcoming tasks that I have within the next week or so, 10 days. And yeah, so I have a lecture scheduled for this particular class, and let's say that I did it. So go ahead and set it done, and it'll go ahead and finish it for this particular date, and then automatically schedule for the next date. This class doesn't have an assignment due date yet for on any of the assignments, which is why this isn't filled out. But if, let's say for a class that does, here's the deadline, and it looks like I already finished it, so it takes it off my agenda. But say that I haven't done it yet, you can see that I have, you know, this assignment is due on Tuesday, so better get on that. And yeah, so this kind of centralizes the main information that I need, and I just go ahead and update this as regularly as possible, so whenever someone posts a new assignment, they'll definitely instantly get added to this file. Thankfully this semester all my professors have had lecture slides, but if they hadn't, for example, yeah, I could also go ahead and take notes for each class under each of its things here. So yeah, the cool thing about this is it all kind of collapses, and once you get good at it, you can manipulate things very quickly. But that's just kind of how I have everything set out. Now typically I'll also have one more org file for a particular folder for that semester. So what was this, 2025? I'll also have another one called a refile folder, and the refile folder is more like figure out where to put this information. So this is just like dumb stuff that I need to figure out when I need to do it. And yeah, so there's two, you know, big files that kind of contain all the information that is relevant to a particular semester. And yeah, that's just kind of how Emacs org mode is set up for me. Alright, so on my smartphone, I just have this app called Termux, which is a terminal emulator for Android, and we can just go ahead and open the file the same way you would on a desktop computer. And the special thing about this phone in particular is that it has a physical keyboard. which means that I can interact with the file in the same way that I would interact with it, you know, on a computer. Say if I'm writing on my big tablet today, you have to use this app called Orgsly to manipulate or to view org files without using the terminator. But yeah, so I can just kind of see all my information right here, and it's automatically synchronized, and I have a nice widget for it as well. And this works pretty well. So same thing kind of operates like this. You have I guess I would call it a hub computer, which is that one right there. If I can just go ahead and switch to it real quick. So this is a computer that I mainly have connected to. Yeah, so here are all the devices that are connected to it, and that's just the folder that synchronizes to each one of them. So say I write something on this one, it'll update to that one, and then that one will send all the updates to the other ones when it's on the same network. Right, and I would also recommend checking out this video by Joshua Fatima. It's a pretty great video, and his workflow is very similar to mine, so if I didn't explain something particularly well, I bet Josh here did. Yeah, so if you have any questions or just want more content relating to this topic, this is a pretty great video.